Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tiny Blue Games. My name, of course, is Seesaw or Chris, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV in 2019. You guys know the drill. Welcome back. Today we're talking about player housing, which is super exciting because I played Wildstar. Wildstar had amazing player housing. Like, of all the things that it did wrong, its player housing it did really, really right. And ever since then, I've had a hole in my body that's not supposed to be there that I've been trying to fill and satisfy that void. So here we are. I'm super excited about it. And you know what? I really, really enjoyed what I saw here with player housing. So there you go. That's the video. That's the end. There's my opinion. No, let's get into it. So in the background, you'll see me exploring the Goblet is the name of the ward, or the name of the area. I think like the wards are the different neighborhoods. I'm going to use a lot of terminology that I'm probably going to get wrong, and people in the comments are going to have to correct me because that's just how I make videos apparently. So I apologize for anyone who just expects me to be knowledgeable. But everyone in the comments they're always so helpful. So thank you to all my lovely people who know this game and are patient enough with me to help me and new players out. You're awesome. Let's get into it. So I found this quest, as you do, from a blue kind of feature quest, and I've been very focused on the blue quests because I know that they unlock something cool in the game, and I'm sorry for those who want me to level really quick. It's just been too exciting not to follow each of these along. The only ones I haven't followed yet are the job quests, where I would start a new job, because I do want to get to Bard first. I want to get, to an actual job. I guess I'm technically just a class. Look at how knowledgeable I've become. And I really want to explore what Bard has to offer before I start trying all these other things. So those are the only quests I've really been skipping. But yeah, this quest was called The Goblet. And it was confusing to me because I didn't really understand, but it was like, you have to come see the Goblet and yada, yada, yada. So I went, and it was pretty quick, and I got to the entrance. It was at that point that I saw a list of wards, and I was like, oh, this is like player housing, because each of these has like a different name, and they probably got like, a different world that they can load into. So I was expecting each ward to actually be a player's house, which was crazy because when I loaded into the first one, I was like, this is like a town. So do you get like a full-on town as your player housing? And then I quickly figured out that no, it's actually something, in my opinion, much cooler. It's a neighborhood, and you're a part of a neighborhood with your house really close to others, I believe. I could be wrong about all that, but from what it looked like, each little house was right beside another, and when you went into the ward, you had kind of a list of where everyone was located. It was super cool. And then there would be sort of vacancies for where you could purchase a lot. I mean, this is one of the coolest systems I've seen for housing in a long time, because it actually, in a lot of ways, beats out Wildstar, because I really like the idea of being really close to your neighbors, where in Wildstar you had the floating house, and you could see other houses, but like it took a while, and they eventually got to the neighborhood thing, and then so I guess the system did evolve into this, but this seems like such a grand scale of the system, and I just love the idea of having this many people living in a community together. It's super cool. So all this to say, I'm giving my props to Final Fantasy XIV. This seems like a really cool system. Let's talk about the houses. They seem super cute. It looks like you could do a fair bit. I liked a lot of the aesthetics of the yard. I liked the interior. It seemed like there was a fair mix of very, realistic to the game world, but also some pretty out there things that you can use to decorate and make things pretty cool. So I like the mix that they had that way. It's always hard to, limit people's creativity, but also you want to keep it thematically correct with the game world. So it's definitely a line that you want to, hit properly. But what also got me really excited with all the stuff that you can put in your housing is that means there's a pretty big economy for this. I mean, if you look at Wildstar, the amount of different things you could sell to, put in houses, like fab kits, I think they were called, it was crazy. So I'm super excited to learn more about the profession that does create these and sort of see what you're able to make, what you're able to sell. I'm sure there's a lot of possibility there, and I'm just very interested to find out what it takes to actually make some of this stuff. So that was really cool, but we haven't even gotten to my favorite part, and that was with the second house I checked. And outside of it, there was two really exciting things. The first one was a message board, so our message book. This is sort of a book, as you would believe, where people, I believe, wrote messages whenever they went and visited the house. So really cool, because you could have your friends come and check it out, and they could write you, a little note or something like that. You could have someone who's, I don't know, just interested in getting to know you. It's such a cool idea to have like that just on your, your front area. Like that's such a cool idea, and I loved it. But we haven't gotten to the best part, which is the retainer person. So there's another NPC that I noticed at a few houses, and you'd click on him, and then you'd say retainers, and then there'd be items that are for sale. And is this someone who owns the house selling items like from their front lot? Because if so, you've completed my dream of seeing MapleStory's free market kind of come back to life. I don't know. It's super exciting if that's the case. I might be completely misreading what the retainers are, but it definitely looks like this is player items that are being sold at the player's lot, and it's just those items that you can go buy. Like that's super cool, because it adds a level of like personality to the sale and to the items you're selling. And like, I don't know, if there's certain items that can only be sold that way, it definitely would make it a very interesting way to go around shopping, right? Because instead of just going to the auction house or the market board, I believe it's called in this game, and typing the item in and, sorting by cheapest, you're actually going to different neighborhoods, exploring to see, whose shop has got the best price, whose shop actually offers what you're looking for. It adds that level of community engagement, world engagement that you might not get otherwise. And I could be completely reading into this way too much, and it's actually just, like NPC items or something like that. I'm completely sorry if that's the case, and I'm sure the comments will come down on me and let me know what's what. But what an exciting system. And even without the message book, even without this retainer person, the housing is spectacular. I'm really excited to see more about it and probably explore more myself. It's one of those goals that I know is super off in the distance, because it's kind of a side accomplishment once I get to max level. It's not my primary focus ever, really. It'll be more focused on, getting the gear, getting into different runs and stuff like that. And then once I'm pretty established, that's when I start looking at housing and all those side things you can do, which is kind of weird to hear, considering as I'm leveling, I'm super focused on the side things. But I think that's more to do with a new game versus what I actually do once I get super focused. But what I do really enjoy, and I'll do a lot at endgame, is explore other people's creations. Be it people from my friends list, be it people from my free company or guild, if you will. I love looking at what people can create, what people are able to do with what's in game. It's truly inspiring. And, I'm not super creative in game with my own housing. I won't ever live up to some of those things, but just being able to see them and sort of show them to more people. And that's something I did a lot in Wildstar, which once again is probably the closest comparison I can have to this kind of housing system. Is I would go and do a video sort of showcasing some of the coolest houses I stumbled across over the last week. And I did that a few times, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I do wish that series had continued. We all know the sad fate of Wildstar. it's something that I would love to do in this game if it did come up. And people in the comments have already been telling me how active some of the housing community is, some of the role-playing community. They put on, different shows. There's plays apparently that go on in houses. It sounds really interesting and definitely something that I want to explore more, but it's something that I think I'll turn to later on in the game because it's something that will be there when, it's not something I have to rush to get to. Not that there's much I really do feel like I have to rush to, but it's definitely one that I feel pretty confident will be fairly similar a few weeks from now, and I won't have missed out on anything. So I'm super excited about stumbling upon this. The game does such a good job of having all these different pieces of content that you sort of run into while you're doing the main story. And I do truly appreciate that. And it's kind of nice, actually. At the start, I was kind of concerned that you have to go out of your way and find the blue quests, and you could easily miss some things, and I'm sure you will. But it's kind of more immersive this way than having a big UI thing pop up every time you unlock something. So it's kind of nice to have that choice as a player to be like, this is something I'm interested in figuring out more. This is something I would rather wait and do later. And it does allow for that. And I'm sure you could have a UI thing where you push like remind me later or whatever, but it's just cool to do it through quests. I think it keeps it very simple and very similar to how you unlock other things in the MMO, right? So it keeps everything sort of the same pace. But yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I did bump up the volume a bit again. I keep having people that tell me it's really loud, or not really loud, that it's really quiet. And on my end, it actually is really loud. When I make my videos, I test them at 30% volume and 10% volume. 30% volume, I usually sound quite loud. 10%, I'm just checking that I can still hear everything. I am using headphones when I do this, so that might be part of this. But yeah, let me know if the volume is loud enough or if I've gone past it and it's too loud now and I need to turn it back. I'm trying to make the content as perfect for you guys as I can. But thank you for all your support, and I'll see you in the next video.